Hey, sexy guys. I know I haven't shot, and gals, excuse me. I know I haven't shot anything in a while here, so I tried to shoot this video the other night on a 4K camera that I bought. Thought I'd try something generic before I went and dropped $600-700 on something, and that was a bust. So when you're going to buy equipment like this, I'm going to tell you right now, my phone is a Samsung Galaxy 8, and it shoots the clearest freaking high def video of anything that I have in this in my residence here. So if you got a phone that's probably Samsung 7 or I don't know whatever version of iOS up from there, you're probably going to get great video, high def video right off the phone. And the mic is pretty good, so use your phone. If you're going to buy a camera to do it, some of the webcams are pretty decent, but I have some of the higher end Logitech ones, and I still can't get perfect focus out of those things or great definition. So you probably have to spend money if you really want to get that perfection. That's just my opinion. I'm no authority on that, but I can tell you my phone has been the best. All right, so I played through 3 turns of France or Case Yellow, so 1940. And I'm going to tell you all ahead of time right now. First off, hey, I hit 700 subscribers. Thanks to all of y'all out there for getting me to that point in what I consider fast for me. That's awesome. I want to get to 1,000, and the reason I want to get to 1,000 is because I want to use the wireless YouTube thing, so I can use my phone anywhere without having to have a third-party application outside of YouTube to film any video. Because when I use my OBS on here, I get cracking in the microphone. I don't understand that. So I just want to get to 1,000 so I can use the YouTube video wireless stuff, that's the understanding I have, is that you have to get to 1,000 before they open that up for you. So there's my objective. But 700, thank y'all. That's awesome. This is a great group that I got in here, especially all y'all that reply constantly on stuff I'm doing. Hey, I try to answer all of you. I do the best I can. And I appreciate the questions and the input. So I will tell you this. I am probably going to take down everything I got on the tables, whether it's tonight or over the next day or two. I don't know. I've got a hankering to play something either big, or I'm just going to put one thing on the table and focus on that one thing. And if I need to break away from it, I can pop over here to my other table where I have Smolensk right now, where I can do one mappers. I kind of feel like OCS stuff needs to be on the big table because I got lots of counter mixes and stuff that you got to play with. So, so stuff like EFS. I don't know what I'm going to do, whether it's going to be a great big Civil War game. Maybe I'm going to throw some Goss up here and force myself to learn it and just go from there. I got a hankering to do something. Maybe it'll be Proud Monster Deluxe. Maybe I'll play Rush of Besiege. Kev has it up right now, and I just got mine recently and it's ready to go. So I don't know. This will be one of those things when I take everything apart on here, I'll decide which one of these I'm going to throw down. If I was forced to choose right this second, probably going to be a Goss game so I can learn how to play it. All right. I'm tired of getting left behind in that. And then my buddy Wardrobe, he's got a couple of them, and I think he's got one on the way. Probably showed up by now, but I know we both want to learn the system. So, all right, but let's sort of get a last review here on what I've got for Case Yellow. All right, so this is a good game. It really is, and I should probably keep playing. But like I said, I've got other plans right now. But very good game. So for 3 turns of play against the France 40 game, if you said, "Hey Jeff, you can only play one of those 2. Which one are you going to play?" It's tough. That's a tough decision. But I think I'm going to play this one because I don't know, the system. They have some similarities, but I don't know. I seem to like this system better. And plus, it's got a few more added things to it. I don't know. Maybe the France 41 was designed to just be slightly simpler, but both games have a great representation of what I would assume Case Yellow was like. So, okay, so let's talk about this game here real quick. So you see all my little refugee markers I got out. That is to slow down Allied movement through those hexes. The ones that are on their city side, they have like 3 little tick marks that point off them. That means that all 3 of those hexes there are refugees flooding out through those hexes. So those hexes cost 1. You have a thing called a terror bomb attack that the Germans have. Like I say, the first time I used it, I didn't realize that the French get 2 victory points every turn that the Germans use it. But this can create also a refugee effect, okay? And I used it on turn at the end of turn 2 to force the surrender limits on the Netherlands, okay? And that is 6 points. You have to collect 6 city points. The little round circles count as towns. Where can you see one out here? Like this one here is a town. You get 3 of those, that counts as 1 city point. But you can see I had 1, 2, 3, 4. You can't see that one, it's a 5th. And then I had 3 towns, that made 5, and then I terror bombed Utrecht, and that made 6. That counts for a 6. So I made 6 cities, so they surrendered. Belgium's off the table, all right? Or the Netherlands is off the table, and Belgium's probably going to go on this turn right here, or the next turn. They were probably going to be out. So that seems pretty similar to me. This is that was through the May 18th through 21st turn. As you can see, I'm already crossed the Meuse. It's Sedan. I haven't pierced the Maginot line yet. There's victory points for that too. Interesting little rule is there's a little zone in here called the blind spot. French units or Allied units that are in there cannot move out of it. And if they're forced out of it, they cannot move back into it. The dial plan area, this game has the dial plan rule and has it built into the rules. If you play the historic scenario, which is scenario 1, you have certain units that have stars and everything on them, certain color combination of stars next to their NATO symbol, and that gives you special instructions on what those units have to do movement-wise on turns 1 and 2. So yes, scenario 1 is the historic with the dial plan, and I think it's really, really nice. So knowing that, if I came back to play this again, which I'm pretty sure that I will because I do like it. And when you look at the thing, it looks a lot like France 40. But I know I'm going to come back and play this. And knowing that with the dial plan rule, probably stretch more of these German units this way and implement what they did. And that is this maneuver here. Because there's Arras, all right? There's Abbeville. So they purged here or pushed through to here and then closed down from the backside and then went after France afterwards. So this game provides you, I think, the ability to do that. Supply. All right, so regular supply is there's no number of hexes. You just have to be able to trace back to a source. Both sides. Attack supply is a little different. For you to do an attack, there's so many hexes to the supply sources that you can use to trace. And you'll see these little bridgehead markers on the map. Like right here, there's a bridgehead marker or a bridge. If those are blocked, you can't trace through it. And the Allies have this thing called crossing interdiction, which they can fly their air missions in there and interdict those crossings to cut people out of supply. I attempted to do that up here earlier and I failed on both rolls to cut those Germans, their combat attack supply, because they would have had to get to this unit here for attack supply and they would have had to come across these bridges. They would need those bridges for that. But it never happened. Anyhow, this looks pretty decent. It looks pretty realistic the way they're pushing. I'm sure it's not specifically that way. The Brits are now into the front line of the dial plan area, which is right in here. Okay, and these other French units and Brit units are moving into that area. But I think on the next turn they don't have to worry about that anymore. Operation Dynamo was getting ready to go into effect here, and the designer recommends you use it, where you designate one of the ports for Operation Dynamo. You remove the Allied air markers. You put the Operation Dynamo air marker in there, which covers that area. They can't fly out of the port area, but the adjacent hexes they function in. And it causes you to have to use 2 Stukas to get 1 Stuka dive bombing attack. All right. And then under Operation Dynamo, it lasts for 3 turns. You try to evacuate as many Allied units as you can. And then at the end of the 3rd turn, it comes off the map. It goes back to normal gameplay. And then you got to fight with whatever force you got remaining. And of course, the Allies do get a ton of victory points. Or they get victory points for evacuating units, so many units. And I think you can have like 6 steps in a hex. So what you want to do is and a unit can be evacuated if he still has 1 movement point when he enters the evacuation hex. He has to have 1 extra movement point he can evacuate. So you could probably get quite a few points out of that evacuation. I think it's a pretty good rule. And it's interesting because they say to do that ahead of time, which probably if the Allies would have done that sooner, they probably could have saved a lot larger force. But hey, fight for your homeland. All right, so that's it for Case Yellow after 3 turns, and that's probably going to be it for the game for right now. I apologize that I did not get to play conflict simulations. Somewhere I'm going to read the rules to it. It's only like 12 pages. I'll come back to that later. But I need to get something meaty on this table because I haven't been feeling it lately, as you've noticed by the lack of videos I put out. So I need to get a sort of a resurge myself into playing something. And I really just want to get after something big. And not a lot of people out there, we all know, that put the big games on the table. And I haven't finished one yet. I've stretched DFS to the point to where I had to a place where I had to move this table, and that caused me to have to take that game down. So we're going to get after something. I promise you it's going to be fun. It may be a learning thing for me for a little while if it's a goth, because I need to finish reading those rules. But we're getting something on this table, and we're going to play it. All right, let's get this thing posted. Y'all can see what Hexy's got going on, and we'll talk to you all soon. See ya.